Hello everybody, this is Election Watch Analysis here again for another video. Today I'll be discussing the 2022 Senate elections, but unlike last video, I'll be discussing the Democrats' chances and which seats they should target to expand their razor-thin majority in the Senate. So before I get started on that, some of you may notice Arizona, I've changed it from tilt to lean, and the reason why, which I'll discuss briefly, is because Doug Ducey, the Arizona governor, declined to run and was censored by the state party. So I think that he was the best chance, and he actually could have flipped the seat and unseated incumbent Mark Kelly, but since he's not running, and the party has embraced a strategy that lost him both Senate seats and the state on the presidential level, I'm changing it from tilt to lean. So maybe like Mark Kelly would win by maybe something similar to his 2020 margin of victory, around 2%. So as you can see here, I have my prior map filled out, of course, with the exception of Arizona being changed. And I won't discuss my calls right now, but you can look out my next video, which I can link up above right now. So let's get started. So of course, all the states not filled in right now are Democratic targets, and I'll just fill them out right now. So the interesting thing is that Democrats have really two different strategies they can use. They can either try to appeal to the Sun Belt and try to win seats, retain seats in Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Georgia, and win seats in Florida and North Carolina. Or they can try to stick to a Rust Belt strategy and win Iowa, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Democrats really are at a crossroads right now where they can try to appeal to the working class and do a Sherrod Brown type style, appealing to economic populism. Or they can try to do what happened in Georgia and use turnout operations among minorities to win back the Sun Belt in states like Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina. And since there aren't very many Sun Belt seats up for grabs for Democrats right now in 2022, really they have to combine their strategies if they wanted to get a bigger victory in the 2022 Senate elections, since there aren't very many Sunbelt seats up for grabs compared to four seats that can be targeted by them in the Rust Belt. So two of these seats, there are incumbents retiring. Wisconsin and Iowa, both incumbents, their intentions are unknown. So really, in reality, they're just there are two open seats and two with the possibility of being open seats. So I'll just quickly go through them. I'll start off with Florida. So I'll head down. So going down to Florida, Democrats have not had a lot of luck in Florida recently. They lost it on the presidential level when many thought they would win it, including me. Lost by about 3%. They lost the governorship and a Senate seat in 2018. So if Democrats they're getting a new chair of the state party there, so that may help them. But they really need to shake up their strategy. So no one except Marco Rubio, who is the incumbent, has announced he's running. Possible Democratic candidates. Democratic candidates include, as listed here, Val Demings, one of Joe Biden's possible VP picks, a state representative, Florida Commissioner of Agriculture, Nikki Fried. So she seems like a good candidate. A lot of Democrats want her to run because she is elected to statewide office, and very few Democrats are right now. So my prediction last time was I had this at likely because Marco Rubio won by a likely margin in 2016, and he's decently popular. But Democrats have a chance here, and they definitely should target it. But in the end, it's pretty unlikely that it will flip, and their best, they could flip it, but it's kind of unlikely. That's why I'm putting it likely for now. Heading up to North Carolina, a good candidate, in my opinion, announced his candidacy, and his name is Jeff Jackson. He is a state senator he can appeal to Republicans or non-Democratic voters. For example, a state Senate seat, his district was Democratic +2, meaning there are 2% more Democratic voters in there. But he won by about 14% in there, so he has appeal. The only problem is his resume is very, very similar to Cal Cunningham's, who lost by 1.8% when he was expected to win. It was a very winnable election, and he lost. So Jeff Jackson may not be the best choice. I think a good choice would be running likely a black candidate similar to Raphael Warnock and having the same strategy there. That could really flip the seat for them. Roy Cooper is a decent candidate and he could win, but really using turnout operations would probably help. So they could, I don't know if Democrats are going to do that right now. That's why I'm putting it at lean, lean. So that gives Republicans 46 seats. But again, Democrats have opportunities to flip both these seats. I think North Carolina is far more likely. So now we're heading up to the Rust Belt, and I'll start off with Pennsylvania. So far, the Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, sorry, I forgot his name for a second, has filed an exploratory committee. There are also a lot of potential Democratic candidates like Joe Sestak, who actually ran for president, Connor Lamb, and Tom Wolf, who's the governor of the state. So there are plenty of good candidates. Democrats do not have a lack of them. Republican candidates, there aren't really any well-known ones, I would have to say. So that is why I'm actually putting it as tilt Democratic, which would give Democrats 51 seats. I mean, they do gain a seat. And this, of course, accounting for that, my prediction comes true, and that they keep Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, as well as New Hampshire. Heading over to Ohio next. Rob Portman, of course, announced he's retiring. Pretty big deal, because it went from safe Republican to toss-up, really, in his one speech, interestingly enough. So, yeah, Tim Ryan, presidential candidate, who has an ability to appeal to, non-Democratic voters, independents, and get crossover votes, is very, very likely to run. He is listed as, announcement pending. I thought I was preparing, sorry about that. It's pretty likely that he runs, and I think that he's a good candidate that can really, get a lot of independents and centrists and, non-Democratic voters, and really attract he has crossover appeal is the term. So, when I put that as Democratic, that's hard. I think it's a really just pure toss-up, so I'm going to just put that in here as a category. Sorry, I did not realize that caps lock on. Pure toss-up, which I'll make yellow. That is what I'm putting Ohio as, because it really, we'll have to wait. We'll have to see if the Republicans run good candidates, or if the, I'm sorry, I think I closed the tab earlier, my apologies, or if the Democrats and Republicans, if both parties run good candidates that can appeal to the working class, that's definitely a big deal. That's something that they really need to do. So pure toss-up for that. Wisconsin. If Ron Johnson runs, which I'm not sure he will, I would put it as tilt Democratic, but there's really no party has a lot of any good candidates. They have, there are some decently good candidates in Wisconsin for the Democrats, but really there's Ron Johnson who may run. There's also some other ones, some other candidates for the Republicans. Otherwise, there's Sarah Godlewski, the Wisconsin state treasurer, who won a race in 2018. And otherwise, there are several other candidates for the Democrats. But really, there aren't a lot of major names, and that's why I'm putting it as pure toss-up as well. So going to Iowa, it's going to be a really tough race for both sides. So as you can see, I have it up already here. Chuck Grassley is pretty old. He still is deciding whether he's going to run or not. And otherwise, there are actually good candidates. There's Pat Grassley, his grandson, who's Speaker of the Iowa House of Representatives, and then again several other decently good candidates on the Republican side. Teresa Greenfield is already running again. She lost the 2020 election. I don't know if she'd be the best candidate. Maybe in an open seat, she may win. So, that's separate. Rob Sand, the Iowa State Auditor, he has won statewide office before. He might run for governor, though. So, that's really up to him. But yeah, there are some good Democratic candidates and some good Republican candidates. But again, since it might be an open seat, it might not be, I have to put it as pure toss-up because I really don't know. So there we have it, everyone. Democrats win 51 seats. They flip Pennsylvania. Otherwise, Republicans hold on to North Carolina and Florida and don't flip any Democratic seats. Iowa, Wisconsin, and Ohio are all pure toss-ups. and that's pretty much it. Of course, it's really hard to make preliminary predictions because I don't know who's running. There aren't any polls, and a lot of the data is still not there yet. So I'll make more detailed predictions and likely more accurate predictions later on. But that's it for now. So thank you all for watching. Please like the video so more people can see it. Subscribe so you can see more of my content. Also, hit the notification bell so you'll be instantly notified when any of my videos come out. Leave a comment on what your prediction is and if you maybe who the best candidate for certain races are, especially Wisconsin, Ohio, Iowa, Pennsylvania, and maybe Florida and North Carolina as well. Any feedback you have, suggestions for other videos, those would be all greatly appreciated. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.